So I'm over here in eastern Washington watching the dogs. Yeah, I know. Yeah. And the dogs of a friend of mine who sent me this photo, a phone picture of his foot. And it was just like, whoa, that's not right. So it wasn't swollen, but it almost looked desiccated. I'll see if I can't put the picture up. So I said, you know, you got to go in, and he's kind of anti-medicine because I think he's afraid they're going to tell him he has to stop smoking, right? He's been a cigarette smoker for years and years. And in his 70s now. As I light up some 965 in my Peterson pub pipe that I brought over. So I was on a motorcycle weekend trip anyway. So, well, I'm just going to stop in. I convinced him to go to the clinic where he goes. He's kind of low income. So, you know, even though he does have Medicare, Medicaid, I think he just doesn't want to be told this. He needs to stop smoking. I think that's as simple as that. So he did nothing for a while, for a few days. And then I convinced him to make an appointment at the farm workers clinic, where he goes as an indigent person, even though he isn't really that indigent. But so a PA saw him, a physician's assistant, and then recommended more tests at the local hospital. The 1 star out of 5 rating, the local hospital. So he was going to go in for an EKG and I forget what other tests he was going to do. Anyway, they called him and they said, oh, you know, we're overbooked. We're going to have to put you out till mid-October. Or at least October. And it was just like, what? You know? Healthcare is just in a crisis here because of staffing, among other things. And it's all for profit, you know. So if there's no profit in it, there's not a lot of healthcare in it. So so I had come over Sunday night. He got that email, or yeah, I think it was in an email form. Oh, we've got to reschedule you for October. I said, that is BS. So I had him call them, and sure enough, they just couldn't get him in. So I said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go in the ER. We're going to go the old desperate way of getting medical attention, and that is just to go to the ER. So we did that. It was quite a pleasant experience. I would give that little hospital, honestly, 4 or 5 out of 5. I mean, it was pretty speedy, efficient, you know, a small town hospital, so not super crowded. Everybody kind of knows everybody. Everybody did a good job. The ER doc there was a younger guy, 37, I think, and quite straightforward. And so it was peripheral arterial disease, or peripheral vascular disease, due to years of smoking, probably. So he said, well, you know, we can't do much here. We can put you on blood thinners, heparin, and a statin to kind of loosen up your blood vessels a little bit. But we're going to try and find you a bed in a bigger hospital where they can do more for you. So, you know, it might have been in another state. And I thought he was going to say, no, I'm not going to do that. So, instead, they found a room for him, and they took an ambulance and got him down there, and today he's having an angioplasty, trying to open up some of those leg veins. So, once you enable modern medicine, it's there for you, and it'll do as much as it can. But you have to kick it into gear first. So, as I smoke, it brings me back to his reluctance to stop smoking. And so I've talked to his brother, and who also has some health issues at this point related to smoking, some COPD, and probably some peripheral vascular disease. So he was saying that he talks to his doc, and he told her, you want me to quit smoking? I've smoked all my life, and if I live for another 3 years or so, I'm just going to be thinking about a cigarette every minute, and I don't want to do that. So I am going to not quit smoking. And if I only live another year, then that's how it is. And she gave him a smile and said, well, I can't, that's not my job. My job is to help you live as long as you can. So that made me think of that Dennis Leary smoke sketch. I'll put a link down below, where he talks about, the last 10 years of your life are the worst years, and you can have those years, you non-smokers, so anyway. But this is as it is always when somebody close to you suffers a malady, and you think about, that could be me. That could be due to some things that I am doing. And so, makes you think. So, you have to go in with your eyes wide open and say, even though we don't, I just don't think our human monkey minds can really perceive not existing, honestly. I think that it just isn't within the realm of its vision. So we just fly along thinking, well, I'm not going to get sick. I'm very healthy. And okay, whatever. But peripheral vascular disease is a big deal, and it's chronic. It's not like you can really recover from it. Once you have it, it's a condition that you have, and you have to manage that. Hopefully it doesn't get a whole lot worse. But angioplasty and vein stripping, all these things are potentially there. But once your small veins and blood vessels are impacted and clogged up, that's it, pretty much. I mean, they just can't do an angioplasty on every vessel in your body. So, yeah. So anyway, it's a wake-up call, and yeah. So there it is. So anyway, I'm watching the dogs. Yes, the dogs. Yes, and the cat, and keeping them fed and whatever they need. So unexpected trip. I thought it was just going to be a weekend. I'd just pop over here since I was already over here anyway, but it turned into a bigger thing. So I'm going to go down tonight after the angioplasty is done and check in and see what's going on. That's all you can do. He's got a little much older, like a 98 Subaru Forester with 200,000 miles on it, and you have to disconnect the battery every time you park it, because probably the switch is what I'm guessing. The parking lights are on, and so I expect it's just a failed switch. So I looked online, found a little video. It's pretty easy, like 10 screws or something to take it off and replace it. It's about $120 switch is the issue, but that needs to be done. So maybe I'll do that. Little mow the lawn, trim up some of these willow trees. I don't know, just try and make myself useful while I'm waiting around, keeping an eye on the dogs in the house. So, but anyway, these medical things, you know, you can ignore them if you'd like, and that's your choice. Or you can sort of manage your smoking, or you can say, well, you know, there's some much increased likelihood of smoking and having these conditions. So, yeah, so we all have some options, but yeah. So I'm not quite willing to give this up yet either. I kind of manage it by not smoking all the time, you know, smoking in a sort of a controlled way. But I think different people's physiologies are affected differently by the smoke and stuff. So there are genetics involved, I'm sure. So you just do what you need to do. So I think I'm going to do a little pruning and then maybe save the yard for tomorrow. And yeah, just make myself useful. So hopefully he'll be okay, but he'll be, you know, it's the age thing is like a downhill slide, you know. You don't like get back to where you were at 50. So now you've got this peripheral circulatory stuff going on, so you're in more pain and you can't move as well. I tell you, it's a slippery slope. So but that's just how it is. Yes, sirree.